Good afternoon to everyone. I'm very pleased to be here with all of you, especially the University, Raja Mangala University of Technology. Through Kun Rusumond asked me to give a public talk. So I accepted her request, and so the dean and all the members here from these universities who helped this talk and all kind of support you provided. So I'm pleased and thankful for that. So I shall start with proper formal way of going Rinpoche and cultivating the bodhicitta. So we would think of Buddha in front of us, and we pay homage to the current Buddha Shakyamuni and his teaching, the Dharma, the path that lead us to the state of Buddhahood. Therefore, we pay homage to the Dharma as well. And those followers of the Buddha's Upasaka, Upasika, Bhikshu, and Shamanara, Shamanira, and so on, all the ordinary to extraordinary Sangha, we also pay homage to this assembly of Sangha as well. Having this Buddha Dharma Sangha, then we supplicate to them, our mind that is under the influence of defilement and karma be free with the blessing of Triple Gems, that our Dharma that can help us to liberate from samsara. With the blessing of Triple Gems, may all the sentient beings, may all of us, that the confused state of mind, due to that we stuck in samsara, may we also able to liberate from this samsara. And this lecture, may these be also become very beneficial under the blessing of Triple Gem. With the blessing of Triple Gem, this lecture may also become a use for us to overcome from the samsaric problems. With the blessing of Triple Gems, that whatever we use this time by listening to this Buddha's teaching, may we able to apply this in our life. So finally, in blessing of Triple Gems, may this be auspicious, may this session be auspicious and beneficial. Okay, thank you. Little allergy, running nose. So today's topic is Mahamudra. Buddha Shakyamuni, who after he was born in Lumbini and then seeing the samsara problem, for example, old age, sickness and death and etc., then even though he was a prince, he has full of luxury life, prosperity, enrichment, everything he has. However, the problem of samsara that, that we are not free, which stuck in his mind. So he left palace for the greater benefit of the beings, because no one found the solution to free from this samsara. So after that, Buddha study, practice under many gurus, many shamatha, vipassana, etc. So now to make it short, finally he reached Bodh Gaya, where he decided to stay, under the Bodhi tree for the meditation or practicing until he become Buddha. He would sit in meditation. Then after he meditated for 6 years. Then the very last, the day and next day morning, he's going to become Buddha. So very last day or very last night, many maras cause obstacle, problem for his enlightenment. They try everything to cause obstacle that he wouldn't attain state of enlightenment. However, they failed. So the next morning, very early morning, he attained state of Buddhahood. So after that, he wanted to share what he experienced, what the knowledge, the experience, the Dharma that he experienced, wanted to share. Then he looked at to whom he could share these precious Dharma. So he did not really find the proper capability of the people who could understand that what he gained, this enlightenment is. So Buddha said that although I gain the Dharma like the nectar meaning every negative, every problems, everything that cause problem, suffering for the people or beings, with these Dharma that can overcome, that can transform everything, that kind of nectar, Dharma. But there isn't any people who would understand these. So he said, I would then stay silently, meaning not able to share, because there aren't anybody who would understand. So no meaning, no pointless. Then after that, Indra, Dharma, the god, they requested Buddha to turn the wheel of Dharma. Because when Dharma requests to turn the wheel of Dharma, Buddha cannot deny. Because Dharma is the one who dedicated his every life. Whenever there is a Buddha, that he would request to turn the wheel of Dharma, then no Buddha can deny it. So after Buddha accepted his request, and then Buddha looked now where to give Dharma, when to give Dharma, to whom. There were two teachers who taught Buddha some meditation technique before, and Buddha still was not fully satisfied because he was looking something extraordinary to overcome from samsara completely. And these two teachers couldn't really help him for that, but they helped him for some certain meditation technique. So what they said is, okay, in case you found extraordinary sort of like Dharma that could help to liberate completely, please also give us that Dharma. They requested to Buddha as well. Then when Buddha looked, these two teachers, but they already passed away. So finally, Buddha searched to whom he could share. Then those 5 disciples who practiced before together with Buddha when Buddha was practicing, and they are the most suitable disciple to whom he could share this Dharma. So then Buddha was in Bodh Gaya. Then Buddha looked, where are these 5 disciples? They are in Varanasi, Saranath. So Buddha traveled from Bodh Gaya to Varanasi, and then when Buddha reached Varanasi, the 5 disciples, they had before problem with Buddhas because they decided not to eat anything from others while they were practicing, and Buddha did not agree that, and Buddha ate from others' offering, the food offering. So they abandoned Buddha somehow, that now we would leave you because you ate from others' people. So therefore they were not happy with Buddha. And they decided, okay, Buddha is coming from far, and they knew, oh, he's coming, but they decided not to welcome him. They all talked, and they all decided we wouldn't welcome him. Then after that, when Buddha was approaching nearer, then Buddha was fully enlightened, and then they couldn't bear to sit and without welcoming. Everyone stand and then rush to welcome Buddha. When Buddha approached close to them, they couldn't stand anymore. So then Buddha, after they were welcomed, and then Buddha decided to give the Dharma, not everything that Buddha, realized the Dharma. So Buddha decided to give step by step. So the time was, Buddha chose time with full moon day. So Buddha chose the time and the place, Sarana, and the people, the 5 disciples. The first sermon for the Buddha gave was the Four Noble Truths, which is very needed and best of the best that people around Saranath, Varanasi, they could understand. Buddha did not teach immediately that self does not exist. Buddha did not teach immediately the essence of the teaching, which the I or the aggregate, the I or the aggregate that we self does not exist. He didn't teach that. Everything he started to teach based on everything exists. So he taught based on the, everything exists. So for that, the relation of the causes and the effect. So the Four Noble Truths is taught in a way. This is the truth of suffering. The truth of origin. The truth of path. The truth of cessation. Again he repeats, the suffering must be recognized, must be realized. Kunjung Pawarchas, the origin of suffering must be purified. Lam temperatures, the truth of path must be practiced. The cessation must be obtained. Again he repeats, if you know, if you realize, if you recognize the suffering, then there is nothing to recognize. Because at the moment we know we suffer, but we don't know the nature of suffering. Kunjung Pangwarcha, the Pangwarcha is meaning the origin of suffering that affects the result of all suffering. And if we purify the origin of the suffering, then eventually we will be free from the suffering. So therefore, the origin of suffering, once you purified, which are karma and klesha, the defilement. If you purify karma and klesha, or the defilement and one's negative actions, we do not need to suffer anything. So there's nothing else to be abandoned or to purify rather than the defilement and the karma, which is the origin of suffering, which means the action that what we do under the influence of afflicted mind or afflictions. The cessation to be obtained, there's nothing else to be obtained, which means cessation meaning the nirvana is nirvana. must be obtained. If you obtain nirvana, there's nothing to be obtained. So the path must be actualized, must be practiced, must be studied. Other than that, there's nothing to be studied, nothing to be practiced. So he repeated that in 12 times total, the Four Noble Truths. So if you look at these Four Noble Truths that he repeated 3 times, total in 12 ways he taught is divided into 2 sections. One is the nature of samsara, and another is nature of nirvana. Nature of samsara, the beings suffer in samsara, and the relation to that, why everyone is suffering. That is the origin of suffering, the truth of origin. So these 2, exactly why everyone suffer in samsara and what caused the suffering, because the cause are karma and defilement. So long we are under the karma and defilement, we are never free from suffering, misery, problems, sicknesses, etc. So the next question is, so if this is the case, then we have no chance to liberate, free from this suffering of samsara? No. We do have solution, we do have chance to liberate. Then there comes to another truth that is related to the nirvana. So, okay, then how we can overcome from this samsara and suffering and so on? Then Buddha said, nirvana can be obtained. To achieve the nirvana, the path, there's a path that leads to nirvana. So, through the path, for example, Eightfold Path, yes, this is the path that leads to the nirvana. And 12 links of interdependent originations, that is the path that would lead us to nirvana. So this, now in Thailand, everyone knows these Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, 12 links of interdependent, that everybody knows, right? So this is very important here to understand Mahamudra as well. So everybody knows that these Four Noble Truths that covers samsara and nirvana, both samsara and nirvana, these Four Noble Truths touches. Nothing, every samsara and nirvana, wherever we point out, every beings, every things in this world, beyond this world, nirvana, everything, covered by or under these Four Noble Truths. Similarly, when Buddha was giving teaching in Sarnath, Varanasi, that time, this teaching was very suitable or very beneficial for the people to understand, so on. Slowly, the time changes, place changes, people changes, so on and so forth. So around 6, 7 centuries, that time, the people, the time, everything has changed. So the Buddha's teachings kind of like, also the method or technique also has been changed or upgraded or changes. I mean, like, according to the place, people, one teaching, the same teaching, probably because of the time, because of the culture, because of whatever reasons, that may not suitable anymore. So depending on that, different manifestation, different technique of teaching, although the core is same, the essence is same. So that's why the different time, the teaching also, different technique, different teachings, name, so on. So Buddha's manifestation in Vajradhara is same Shakyamuni Buddha, but different manifestation. Just simple, Buddha's another manifestation is called like Shakyamuni Buddha for us, Vajradhara, different name, different manifestation. Buddha's mainly sort of like teachings, we do have 2 lineages, Pali and Sanskrit. So early time when Buddha was giving teaching in Varanasi and so on and so forth, there are many sort of like these teachings based on Pali. And later, after Buddha, Nagarjuna time. Yes. So these, the lineage, the teaching of Buddhas that we use as Sanskrit traditions. The Vajradhara Buddha, who gave teaching cycle of many teachings, and that teaching essence is called Mahamudra. So from 7, 8, 9, 10 century onwards, yes, these teachings were very beneficial for countless beings, especially in 11th century. These lineage of teachings brought to Tibet by the great Buddha Marpa. Marpa is the one of the great person who went to study Dharma in India and brought this Dharma back to Tibet. And after that, in Tibetan Buddhism, these Mahamudra become very popular. Many of the Tibetan practitioner, Buddhist scholar, Upasaka, Upasika, Bhikshu, Bhikshuni, they practice this and become Buddha. Mahamudra. Maha meaning great. Why great? Because these Buddha's teaching or essence of Buddha's teachings will liberate us from samsara and bring us to the state of Buddhahood. Therefore, it's great. Mudra, the root cause that the joy and the bliss that we could experience or realize. Mudra, that is bestowed, realized the Buddha nature of mind, that is the mudra. So, Maha, the great, mudra also meaning a seal. What kind of seal? The nature of mind, which is luminosity and emptiness, that pervades everywhere, everything. Nothing is pervades from this nature. Therefore, it's a seal. So, example, seal means in the ancient time, each kingdom, the king has a seal. Once it's sealed, you have the permission from the king within the kingdom that it covers everywhere. In short, the awareness, the luminosity nature of the mind and the nature of all the phenomena, that is the emptiness nature, which is pervades everywhere, everything. Yes, therefore is a seal. Through these two, the luminosity and emptiness, which would help us to liberate from the samsara. So these primordial wisdoms, the awareness and the emptiness, by recognizing these, eventually we would liberate from samsara. Therefore, mudra. This Buddha's teaching, the essence of Buddha's teachings, there's nothing above that. Therefore, it's Maha. Same like the Four Noble Truth. Yes. Now here, the Mahamudra, after 6, 7 centuries up to Tibet and India. That time, this teaching benefit same like Four Noble Truth benefited that time. Now, in order to the Four Noble Truth, the cessation, truth of cessation, the nirvana, in order to obtain that, what we need to practice is, we have to understand that. Yes? So first of all, we call ground Mahamudra. Ground Mahamudra is the nature of mind or Buddha nature. When it describes the Buddha nature into luminosity and emptiness nature, these describe luminosity, the relative truth, based on relative truth level, the things functions, and ultimate nature of emptiness that describe the ultimate absolute level. Now that every sentient beings, we can also become like Buddha, we can attain the state of nirvana. So this is called ground Mahamudra. So in a Four Noble Truth, we know that there's a cessation that we can obtain. There's a nirvana we can obtain, like Buddha obtained nirvana, like we can also obtain nirvana, that every sentient beings we possess this nature. Same way for the Mahamudra, the ground Mahamudra, the Buddha nature in easy word, easy way to understand. Then it further explain the clarity and the emptiness nature, the mind, the true nature, that we can realize this nature. Because why? It's not something that we bring later from the support from somebody, or after the purification, or after the accumulation marriage. It is there since beginningless, since ever. Therefore it's called co-emergent wisdoms. So once you know that everyone, you can become Buddha because you have the ground nature, the ground Mahamudra that's with you. So the next is the the path, the Mahamudra of path. Then the Mahamudra of path is now similar, like in order to attain the state of nirvana, become like Buddha, nirvana, then what we have to do, that we have to abandon all the non-virtuous activities. For example, Four Noble Truth is the suffering. Is suffering caused by our negative actions, karma, that what we do, non-virtuous activities, and that is under the influence of defilement. So when we train, when we practice not to do any negative actions under these defilement, that is the path to attain the nirvana, the way. And similarly here, Mahamudra, in order to attain Mahamudra, there is then the path. Path is now divided with the preliminaries, is Ngondo, is Mahamudra preliminaries, where one practices refuge and bodhicitta. Then followed by, there are many paths that, preparation or preliminaries to actual Mahamudra practice, where is similar like a shamatha and vipassana. Yes, of course it's the same, but we go further to that, So the path that leads us to Mahamudra, similarly, the cessation or nirvana for the Four Noble Truth context of Four Noble Truth, the nirvana that we are targeting to reach there, we are aiming to reach there. For that, we have to practice the Eight Noble Path, 12 interdependent originations, which would eventually lead us nirvana. Similarly, Mahamudra, the state of Mahamudra, state of nirvana, one can understand like that. Because in Thai context, the nirvana is understandable, everybody knows. Similarly, the state of nirvana or state of Mahamudra. Shamatha, vipassana, and then the very Mahamudra essence practice here is not to let our mind thoughts go or divert or go after or direct to the past related issues, memories, so on. One. Then not to also invite not to welcome, not to let any other thought that we invite, even though it's not there, just when we travel in the future, okay, this and that, so on and so forth, not to go towards that also, free from that. Then present thought also, whatever pops up, not going after that present thought also. So these, free from these three, simply rest in the true nature of mind, which is absolutely exactly same as Buddha Shakyamuni enlightened mind. That's it. So this is the Mahamudra technique, yes, which eventually every negative karma, clash, obscuration that so far that we are not able to experience, that the moment we rest in this nature, everything cannot obstacle, cannot obscure, cannot hinder. Of course, many of us, due to lack of merits, accumulation of merits and accumulation of wisdoms and lots of negative karma, the habitual tendency, it's not so easy for us to rest or recognize, be there. Same way, in order to attain the state of nirvana in the context of the Four Noble Truth, okay, that we need to purify negative karma, we need to accumulate merits, and for that, Eight Noble Fold Path, 12 interdependent originations, the practices we do, finally we obtain state of nirvana. Okay, similarly for Mahamudra also, the accumulation of merits, purifications, all these are also very important matters that they support whatever that habitual tendency, whatever that we have, the blockage, they help to reduce or to make it easier. But however, when you recognize these true nature, then the result is simply free from all these adventitious, the obscurations and defilement. So that is the result, Mahamudra result. Mahamudra ground, Mahamudra path, Mahamudra result. So this is a little bit about Mahamudra that I try to explain a little bit based on the Four Noble Truth, because you all know Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path. So I try to go with, along with these, so to easier for understanding. Okay, so now I will ask for some questions. Yes, maybe some of you have questions.
Okay. So you asked one question referring to the Japanese Koran or the Dharma Riddle. He says that there is a one saying which consists of two verses. He said that for a thing, if an ordinary person sees, he becomes a Buddha or a monk. But if a monk sees the very same thing, he becomes the ordinary man. So that he asks for your opinion and comments on this.
Yes, definitely. That is what Buddha said, that three different states of the being's purity of the mind are very impure and half pure and half not impure, and then fully impure. So what he described also falls in these categories. Fully impure, the way he or she projects, the way she sees and perceived, and then pure and impure, meaning those like monks or bodhisattvas, those who are training for arahat, they are semi-pure, semi-impure. Their projection, their view, their perception is differences. And then completely pure like a Buddha. That way, so this is what my opinion, that I understand according to Buddha's teachings,
Rinpoche said that between the Mahamudra and also the Theravada is actually we are surrounded by poison And we try to get rid of all the poison, all the effort that we try to do. But with Mahamudra, we can go straight to the medicine, which is the wisdom of the Buddha nature. But in reality, like we are just human beings, so we still possess the emotion and the negative emotion. Can it be possible that we just go into state like we probably can sometimes have the Buddha nature, understand the Buddha nature, but sometimes we are just normal human beings when we are not careful or in the state of mind. Is that?
I think how the Thai
Yes, so this as a practitioner, that when we engage into samadhi, we engage into any Buddha's instruction that we follow, either in a physically related like a prostration or making circumambulations or offering lamps or offering flowers or etc. This is one sort of like method that in order to embark towards the realizations or the nirvana, and then more importantly, when we are in samadhi of now, for example, Mahamudra, it's a direct to the nature of the mind, which is Buddha enlightened, fully enlightened nature, that we are trying to experience, that we are trying to catch it, that we are trying to experience it, is recognize it, which is very direct. But that is only possible probably most of us when we are in meditation, when we are not disturbed by any things, when we offer flowers, incense, do kora, is very difficult, And then if you go further down as a samsaric beings, which we involve in a like a daily mundane activities such as, I don't know, like, whatever we do as a lay practitioner, lay household, you have lots of like family activities or business or job, etc., etc. So which is, even further from the nature of that, to be there, to be connected with the Buddha nature. So these are like that. But of course, in and on and off, somehow we can manage until we really stay all the time there. Once we fully actualize, fully recognize, fully developed, then does not matter. It doesn't matter wherever we are, whatever we do. The two different states. Yes.
You say that recently, when we look at the things on the social media, we have seen a lot of what they call manifestation. So it's been teaching through social media that if you want anything, you just need to manifest it. So she's wondering, what is manifestation and what is the difference between manifestation and craving? Are they the same thing? And what do you think about it?
Okay. So manifestation has many explanations or many meanings. Now, for example, one meaning manifestation in the context of the Buddhism, especially, as a Buddha could manifest not just one human body, 1,000 millions manifestation bodies. That is one explanation or understanding of meaning of the manifestations. That Buddha could manifest like what? Buddha could manifest like in order to benefit dog. Buddha could manifest in a dog. In order to benefit cats, Buddha could manifest in a cat. In order to benefit, maybe, depending on the beings, Buddha could manifest, different form, different manifestation. That is the context of Buddhism. We use manifestation. That's one thing. So now the social media manifestation or craving, now that is totally different. Here it's like something that you want to have, something that you wish to be. So in order to really get it, it's a kind of like build up confidence and to trust yourself, and you could achieve it. So it's before it really achieved or obtained, you manifest it, or kind of like you visualize it, you manifest it. So that helps. It helps to boost your confidence and sort of like trust. You could do it. You can make it. Although whatever difficulty there is, challenges there is, so the more you manifest, the more you visualize, it kind of like helps you to boost your confidence and trust. So that's it. And it's of course based on carving or based on, it could be maybe not 100%, it could be positive, not negative, whatever. Thank you. So we will dedicate now by having these sessions, that whatever that we listen to Buddha's teachings, may these be cause to free from the samsara and attain the state of nirvana. Meanwhile, may we all able to live according to Buddha's teachings and Buddha's advices. So namje sriba ni pomne nyebe danam pamje de gega nanshi balap chubai sibe sole dowa sho Shanju zemne Rinpoche maje banam ge yurje ge banyamba mebat hone pondu pewa sho. So wish you all good health, prosperity in your life. So thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.